New part for the workshop, angle plate. First angle plate that I own. Thought I may need it in the future, whether it be marking out or holding things in the milling machine or marking out on the surface plate. Not the most high quality casting by the look of it. You can see some little inclusion parts where it's machined. It's nice. Nothing raised, obviously. Yeah, made in Taiwan. Next thing that I purchased is a quick change tool post set. Now, I've already got two of these. When I first got my lathe, this was the tool post that it came with. I was all gung-ho about doing it the old-fashioned way with high-speed steel and, you know, using this exactly how it came out of the box. And once I started getting into some more complicated things that had different processes, you know, external threads, internal threads, you know, knurling, parting off. This is just hopeless. Spending too much time putting the tool in and then getting it on centre height. I used to use, I still do use them on a more permanent nature on, no I don't, sorry, I'll take that back. I used to use to get the centre height right because there's no adjustment in this. It's all done in the tool. So this is solid. So you've got to get your centre by moving the tool up and down. Feeler gauges. I used to get cheap sets of feeler gauges, and they were good because you could, you know, obviously feeler gauges have different thicknesses. You put a whole pile of them together and take out just the right one. So look, it was good for about 2 weeks. Probably was longer than that, but you get the idea. So the quick change tool post, as I said, I've already got, this is the third one. Why do I need 3 of them? Well, to be honest, I don't. But it's cheaper, believe it or not, to buy it in a kit with 4 holders than it is to buy the 4 holders by themselves. So that is the reason why I have one of these spare. I'm sure I'll give it away to someone down the track. You can never have too many tool holders. Once again, I started out with one set with 4 and I thought this is great. But you have just things get out of control. There's one with a cutting, parting off blade in it. There's one with a little boring bar in it. Now, that's all I've got in it. I've got other boring bars, so that's holding up for a little boring bar that is good for like little holes and things. No good for any heavier duty stuff, so that's to think about. Carbide tool holder. What else we got? External thread cutting. Internal thread cutting. High speed steel, particularly good for if I'm roughing something out, no, if it's a rough material. Like one of the other jobs I was mucking around with where I had to build up a shaft with weld and turn it down. High speed steel is great for that. Carbide doesn't like it too much. And flavour of the month at the moment is this carbide insert holder here, WWLNR. 6-sided insert effectively. You can turn it over. Negative rake, so technically it's really probably not right on my lathe. I haven't got the horsepower, but certainly what I've been able to do with it, the finish just comes off this, is beautiful. And don't forget, there's my knurling attachment. See how to make one of those on Tom's Techniques. Awesome. Takes away any pressure that you need to put on the lathe from the compound into your job. So basically your job goes in the centre here and you squeeze these bolts up and then travel along your axis as normal. Great little project to do. Thanks Tom for that. So now I've got another 4 which I'll be able to put other things into, maybe a different high-speed steel, bigger boring bar. Sky's the limit as far as tools. At least with this setup, once you've got all these, they are set, height set every time. So you drop it in, pull another one out, drop it in, and it's all done for you. It's quick change, that's the name, it's there for a reason. So yeah, that's about all I've got in the lineup of goodies. Oh no, I've got something else. Oh, got stocks of Delrin, and had a crack at getting a little bit of nylon as well to see what that was like to play with. Yeah, so just some shop supplies. I do have 1045 and some mild steel bright bar that's turned up, but that's too heavy to be lugging around in front of the camera. I'm waiting on some 4140. Might as well talk about it now. Drive roller that I made, copied one of these for one of our customers from my work, and that's the flat one, goes on top. I won't be now making these, not because it didn't work, and to be honest it hasn't been put through its complete paces yet in testing, but I made this on the weekend. When I went back to work on Monday, one of my suppliers, who 2 or 3 weeks earlier had told me we can't get these anymore, well, guess what? Now they can. So, in all honesty, I couldn't turn around and charge my customer what was effectively going to be for me to make these for my time and from logistical reasons. My work needed to get a cut out of it as well. I'd have to be selling these for 149 bucks thereabouts each. I can now supply these back to the customer at the original rate of about $98 each. So in all conscience, I couldn't pretend that I still couldn't get them. Honesty is the best policy, especially with retail, any sort of retail or industrial sales and that you're doing, because you're going to get caught out. And it's no point telling fibs to your customers, because if they double check, they could have gone to someone else and said, can you get them, and find out and then they could. It makes you look like a fool, and you possibly can lose that customer. As an aside, at least I know I've been able to make these. Now, if there ever becomes a time in which drive rollers are not available for a certain welding machine, I'm pretty confident I can at least replicate them. As long as I have an original, which is like anything, I suppose. You either need a drawing or an original to copy off. So a drawing is basically a copy of an original in drawing form.